My name's Steve Mulligan. I'm the Assistant Director for Higher Education at Selby College. And just for the next 10 to 15 minutes, we're just going to talk to you a little bit about our higher education provision here at Selby. And then I will pass over to my colleague, Valerie Wood, who'll talk a little bit about student finance and the application process. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If you do have a question, if you just pop it into the chat box, and Valerie and myself will pick those questions up at the end, and we'll hopefully answer them. If we can't answer them now, you can leave your details or get in touch with us at a later date, and then we'll hopefully be able to answer them moving forward. So why choose higher education at Selby College? Well, we've got a variety of subject areas, and we are a partner college with the University of Hull, the University of Huddersfield and Pearson. Obviously, you don't have the living accommodations as such, as well as your travel and subsistence and reduced cost. We're a very friendly, supportive environment. You can fit your course around your work, your family life, and we've got very flexible hours in relation to part-time options and full-time options, which I'll talk to you further down the line. Obviously, small group sizes as well. We don't have massive groups, really ranging from 6 up to sort of 15, 16. So it's very hands-on. You get to know your tutors, and are very much an open door policy. Excuse me. So I've already mentioned our higher education partners, the University of Hull, that we have our foundation degrees and full honours degrees. The University of Huddersfield for our teacher training provision, and we also work with Pearson for our higher national certificates and higher national diplomas. These subject areas are more vocationally related to the workplace, so a different range of programs that we deliver. So just a little bit about HE qualifications explained, if you're not too sure. You can see on the left-hand side, there's a full bachelor's degree, and year 1 is level 4, year 2 level 5, and year 3 level 6. Or a foundation degree, year 1 is level 4, and then year 2 at level 5. Or a higher national certificate at level 4 and a higher national diploma at level 5. And the beauty of our programs, particularly with the foundation degree in the HND, HNCs, we've got these step-off points. So if you want to do a year, and then that's enough for you, or 2 years and that's enough for you, or complete your full degree, then we've got these options there. You can also, if you want to do our teacher training, go on to level 7 with the postgraduate diploma, or if you wanted to study a program, a master's program somewhere else, we would support you in finding the right course for you. We also run access diplomas for higher education that sit within our area, designed for the people who do not have traditional qualifications. They may be been out of education for some time and want to come back into higher education. Our health science professions is very, very popular at the moment. We've had some really good cohorts come through this year, mainly people who want to get into the nursing profession. So that is a very popular course. And then 2 new ones that we've started this year, criminal justice and science, if you want to go down the different routes with criminal justice from the probation service or that sort of role. All our access programs are validated by CERTA. So our HE courses, as you can see, I won't read them all out as a list as such, but we've got high national diplomas from art and design, business, engineering, computing. And we've got our degree programs in criminology, computing, sports science, and with our foundation degree in early childhood studies and learning support. You can also top up your business into leadership and management and computing as well. And on the right-hand side, you can see the awarding body, the University of Hull, the University of Huddersfield, and Pearson. So we also hold a graduation ceremony around the autumn time, which is in Selby Abbey, which is a great occasion, gives you a chance to celebrate your achievements with your friends and your family. We normally have around 250, 300 people there, so it's a really, really nice occasion about this time of year, and you get the opportunity to graduate with the awarding body, and we have guest speakers from our partner universities, and gives you the opportunity then to celebrate that. So it's a really, really nice afternoon. So once again, any questions, if you just pop them in the chat, I say we'll answer them now, but we won't. We'll wait to the end if that's okay. And now I'm just going to pass you on to Valerie Wood, who is going to talk a little bit about fees and funding. So are you there, Valerie?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Right, fantastic. So I'm just going to mute.
Okay, so one of the things that we find that applicants ask us a lot of questions about is student finance. So the starting point is really, what is the course going to cost? And this table here just gives you some idea of what we're charging currently for the current academic year, which is 2020-21. What you can see is that if you were doing a full-time programme, you'd be charged £7,320 per year. If you're doing a part-time course, such as business, which runs over 2 years, then it would be half of that, so 3,660. What you can see is that if you've been looking at the cost of courses at university, they typically will charge 9,250 per year, and then potentially you've got sort of travel and accommodation on top of that. So we're very competitive in terms of cost. The fee this year for the Cert Ed and PGCE is 7,320 for the full-time version, and then half of that for the part-time version. The access to higher education fee, it varies according to the access pathway that you choose. That's not set by us, that's set by the regulatory body. So what you can see is that if you were wanting to do the access to health science profession course this year, that's 3,384, as is higher education science, and also criminal justice is slightly cheaper at 3,022. Obviously those fees are all to be confirmed for starting next September, so we will update that as soon as we've got the information available, and that will be on our website. So another question that people often ask us is, how do you actually apply for the courses? So what I would say is there's lots of information on this slide, but the key thing is it depends whether or not you're applying for a full-time course or whether you're applying for a part-time or one of our access courses. So if you're applying for one of the full-time courses, you have to apply through UCAS, and the information about the UCAS applications is on the left-hand side there. So through UCAS you can apply for up to 5 choices, and the cost is £20 for a single choice or £25 for multiple courses, and that will also allow you to access clearing if you need to do that, or if you're applying after the 30th of June, you automatically are going through the clearing process. There's also an important deadline which happens in January, which is the 15th of January. That's actually called the equal consideration deadline, and what that means is universities will consider all the applications that they've received by the 15th of January on an equal basis. However, increasingly universities are actually taking applications after that date. So obviously if you can get your applications into us by then, that would be great. But if you've not got it in by the 15th of January, just get in touch with us and just find out, because generally speaking, we do accept applications for quite a long time after that. If you're applying for a part-time or an access course, then what you do is you apply direct to us, and the application forms and packs are on our website. The other thing is our entry requirements are all published on the website, but if you can't see your qualification on there, or you think that you've got a lot of experience in a particular field but you don't necessarily have a formal qualification, we do accept applications from non-standard applicants and particularly from mature learners. So please get in touch to discuss your individual circumstances. So in terms of fees and funding, it is something that people do get worried about. And again, there's a lot of information on this slide, so I'll try to kind of pull out the key points on here. If we're looking at our higher education courses, rather than the access programme, because I think we've got another slide about access funding, you can apply for student finance, and that will help you both with your tuition fees, and if you're studying full-time or on an eligible part-time course, there is a maintenance loan that you can apply for, which helps with living costs, that kind of thing. So everybody can apply for tuition fees regardless of whether it's a full-time or a part-time programme, and regardless of household income. If you're applying for maintenance loan, it is means tested, and that's based on household income. So if you have a look on the www.gov.uk website and look for student finance, there is a student finance calculator on there, which you can put that in, and that will give you an idea of how much maintenance loan you'll be able to claim. The second bullet just says probably what you know already, in that student loans have to be repaid back, but you don't pay anything back until you've finished your higher education course. The other thing is that you have to be earning a certain amount of money before you will actually pay anything back at all. So the table on the right hand side gives you some idea of how much you would pay. So at the moment, if you don't earn more than 26,575 when you finish your course, you won't pay anything back at all. And then it gives you some idea of how much you'll pay if you're earning more than 26,575. So for example, if your annual salary gross was 27,000, you'd pay approximately £3 back per month. And that's deducted at source, like tax and national insurance. And you can see, obviously, the amount goes up if you're earning more money, but when you're around that threshold, it's almost nothing that you're paying back per month. And then after 30 years, if you've not repaid everything back, it's written off. The other thing to mention is that if you have a disability or a long-term health condition, and you think that you're going to need extra support whilst you're on the course, there is support available through something called Disabled Students Allowance. So for people who have things like dyslexia, possibly a mental health condition or a long-term health condition, there is money that you can apply for to provide support and specialist equipment. So usually what's best is if you contact us if you're in that position, and then we can discuss your individual circumstances with you. So the next slide is for anybody who's interested in applying for access programs. And the funding for an access program is very similar to a student loan, but it's actually called an advanced learner loan. And you apply for this once you've actually been offered a place on the course, and it works in a very similar way to the tuition fee loans. The difference is that if you go on and complete a full higher education qualification, so if you do, for example, an access to health science professions qualification because you want to go on and do a nursing degree, so you finish that, you then go on and do your nursing degree. If you finish your nursing degree, the cost of the advanced learner loan will be written off your student debt. So it's an incentive really for you to carry on and complete your full degree level qualification. And again, you only start repaying once your salary hits a certain point. So again, what you can do is if you want some more information about that, then please get in touch with us. The thing to point out is that there aren't maintenance loans for people who are on the access courses. It doesn't work quite the same as a higher education course. There is some limited bursary funding for people if you need help with transport, childcare, that kind of thing. But ask about yourself, your individual circumstances at the point that you're applying, and we can talk you through that in a bit more detail. And so if you've got any questions, if you would like to put them in the chat box, and we'll endeavour to answer those now.
Right, thanks, Valerie. That was great. Can you see the chat box, Valerie?
I think I know. I don't know.
It's fine. I can. I'll read the questions out to you. The first one, you might be better placed than myself, Valerie. It says, "Hi, I finished high school in Ghana. Can I apply with my Ghana certificate?" Right.
The first response to that is yes. We welcome students who are not from the UK to apply to us. Generally speaking, we'd expect you to do something called a NARIC, and what that is it actually translates international qualifications into our equivalents. So that would be something that we'd need to look at. What I would say is we would need to speak to you about what your status is. If you are resident in this country, then there shouldn't be a problem. But if you need to apply for a Tier 4 visa, that's something that we'd need to discuss with you on an individual basis. But what you could do is, if you're interested in applying, contact us so that we can talk through, and then if we need further information like a NARIC, which is, as I say, it's an organisation that translates international qualifications, then we'll be able to give you advice on your individual circumstances.
Thank you, Valerie. The next one is, I'm 47. I'm really worried about coming back to college to do a H&C, as I'm scared I won't fit in with the younger students. Will I fit in?
And the answer to that is yes, you will. We're very lucky at college because we have a lot of mature students. Certain courses, most of the students are mature. And in a typical year, we'll have students on courses into their 50s. So certainly at the age that you've mentioned, there's absolutely no problem. And even on the full-time courses, which in the past have attracted people who are progressing straight from our level 3 programs, what we're tending to find is that because we're offering more part-time options now, that we are actually getting a nice spread of ages. So please don't worry about that. We're very used to dealing with mature students. We've got about 40% of our students who are classed as mature, a lot of students who are in their 30s. So it's very definitely not just 18-year-olds, and you'll be made to feel very welcome and very comfortable.
Thanks, Valerie. And one more question. I'm dyslexic. Will I get extra support?
Okay. Yes is the answer to that. There are 2 ways that you can get that extra support. In part of my role, it's actually study skills support, and my background is actually in dyslexia support. So we either do that formally or informally, because all students, where they need it, will get study skills support from me. If people are used to having a lot of support and want to apply for disabled students allowance, then we can talk you through that process. And if that's something that you feel would be useful for you, and you've got the right evidence to apply for that, then that is something that we can provide for you. I think usually with something like that, if that's something that you would like to talk to us about in more detail, then that probably would be what I would advise you to do.
That's great. Thanks, Valerie. And I hope that's answered everybody's questions. As you can see on the slide in front of you there, there is our phone number and our direct email address. So please take a photo of that with your phone or write that down. And if you've got any further questions, and give us a ring, and Valerie and myself and our other colleagues in the team will pick that up. But thank you for listening this evening, and I hope you all have a pleasant evening. And once again, if you've got any other things you need to ask, please don't be shy to get in touch with us. Okay. Thanks, Valerie.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.